Rochester was wiped out. It wasn't just one street or two streets like it was the last flood. Out of 3,000 houses, there's only about 20 that were not affected by flood. And when I say affected, I mean the water came around the ground in their house about that much, so they weren't affected. But all the rest have been wiped out. What old people that have nowhere else to go had to try and
prop up.
Yeah, the bloke over there's put that thing there.
Yeah.
But all that was just came in the bottom there and just lifted it and thump, the whole lot. And it's all fallen over now. And I don't think that's covered on insurance.
No idea.
You just got to suffer it. The water was in here, in this shed here. And this is our, excuse the mess, but this is our Christmas light shed. And all the Christmas lights are on the bottom are buggered. They've had it.
Last time we thought we were right, and then I went out the back here and I said, "There's water coming in the back."
And as you can see,
Time I went back, rushed back out, it was just coming through like a snake, and it just went straight through. Yeah,
It's unreal.
couldn't even stop around there, and but it was just too much.
this is where I get so angry because an 88-year-old man is trying his best to do everything. This shed in here is what we have had to do ourselves. He tried to build a levee bank, but by the time he got to there, the water was here. Was from there to there. It took like 2 minutes. Just was the guy next door. He came and he was looking, going, "Gee, it's moving." He said, "I'll go and get a shovel and help you." Went round there and round here. By the time he got here, there was water everywhere. It was just covered. But
How far away from the river?
About 2 k's.
2 k's.
2 k's. It didn't take long to get up here.
No, because it came that way. It didn't come from the river.
Down our
It
road.
came from
The last one did, but this one, we thought it was right. We thought it was right coming around because we're watching it come down the road, but then it comes through here. But the trouble is, we had it all sandbanked along the front, and it's just come through our house, through our front door, and everything was floating through the front door out the back. So that just shows you the water come this way as well as that way.
So you've got the double header from one way you're expected,
Yeah.
the other way you had no
That's
idea.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
It met in the middle.
we've had to take out of the house and pack ourselves.
But those big
I don't
pots
think
you
I'm
see
a
out there,
netball girl, am I?
I've been just getting arranged in the further end. Yeah, I can't lift them, and they push them around. That's how
Yeah,
much
I'm going to
force it
show
was.
them where it
Wow.
went. Yeah, all this
It
in
wasn't
here.
just the water; it was just the pressure.
Yeah. Just the force of it coming through.
We've had to get money for our fridge, and what else did we get money for, Alan? I've forgotten. Fridge and what else was it?
The dish, your clothes washer out there.
Oh, washing machine.
Washing
I'm
machine.
sure, yeah. Yeah, we got money for that, but everything else, we've had to, pack everything and bring it all out here ourselves. I couldn't ask anybody else because everybody else is in the same boat. All that. And their doors. Okay. That top there and these up here. This one here, and that one there all came around down here and what all
I had to
these
shift a lot of this, but beautiful in around here now. I'm just starting to get it back there.
washed
That's
all
all I
this
want.
down here and to here. I'll show you through the back door here.
Oh, that's so good.
All through here. And somehow this door was opened, but the other door was in on the floor because all those pots were up against the door.
Got alone, all they did was told a few people when the flood reaches a certain point up here and then it comes down here, it's time to get out.
Well, then it's too late because you've got to come from both ways.
It's come around here, but that's not the point. They don't spend any money trying to stop the flood. That's the trouble. There's things they can do. It's like some lady, it was only a lady, wrote in the paper, so they put gates in the dam up there, as she said, when it gets too much water in, it's like pulling a bath plug. It just comes out in a big rush.
Then we go.
You know, like most reservoirs have got a dam, you know, gates on their dams, and they
Yeah.
can let so much out, so, you know. But Mr. Andrews,
Well, like they want to get
probably
people back into places instead of helping places rebuild.
Yeah, and the rumour is now that with the Commonwealth Games, now they're going to put them in garages and things, you know, like in plaster and everything. They're going to use that in 3 years. They want that for the 3 years, so that every time a shipload or whatever they bring it in on, or all this timber,
There's more important
they
things.
get it and put it away.
There's more important things they could be using these materials for to help rebuild people's homes
Like
after the
there's
flood.
heaps of people up still at Elmore. What are they going to do with all them? The houses haven't even been touched. Some of the houses around here, not like ours is starting to get built. You know, there's a lot of houses people they just haven't even looked at them.
We drove up the road to come up to your street, and just about every house that we passed through, people are living in their caravans. They got their houses closed off with tent fencing and everything else because they can't get in. It's too dangerous. They've got to be fixed.
Half of them are talking about leaving anyway. The town won't be any town if they all leave. They're going to get their house. I said, what are you going to do? They're insured like we are. They said, we're just going to build it and then we're going to go sell it. And there's a lot of places they're taking the insurance money and running. And they got, if you have a look in the paper, there's a lot of houses for sale, and they're selling them for about 180 or something, 190,000. It's just, but they're flood damaged. You know, it's a beautiful little town. You've seen it before this flood. Everyone wanted to live here. Things, properties were going, you know, sky high and everything, you know, and bang, this happens, you know, because of some stupid. I got a mate out there. He rang him up and he told him he knows what's going on because the dams, the money in most of the dams, the money's owned by the big people in Melbourne and everything. They own all the money, all the water. They sold all the water years ago, you know, to all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to let the water run down the drain. They won't empty the dams out at the right times because that's money. Even if it's going to flood, you know, everyone knew it was that wet. It was going to get a flood. We all knew it was going to be a flood. But it's always some way of having a flood, just a minor flood, and a major flood like we had. You know, it's just ridiculous, you know.
So do you think that, in your opinion, what's happened is because of mismanagement?
Yes.
I reckon it was, yes.
From the water authorities?
They say it wasn't. They reckon, we had all this rain.
Yeah, rubbish.
Of course it, but they could have let water go. They knew that the Bureau and everything, they can say they can tell months ahead what the weather's going to be. Why don't they let water out a couple of months before the flood, you know, thinking
They knew it was
it's going
coming.
to be a big rain.
They've got all these instruments and everything else to predict the future of rainfalls and fire situations and things like that, but they don't let people know.
Would you look at the river now?
That's
trickle. And yet I think I looked in the paper, it's still 98% full.
the river.
The dam.
The dam.
Oh, the dam, but the river, you could walk across that.
Yeah, there's no water in it.
So if we get another storm with 2 inches,
You bug it
flood
again.
No,
Yep.
it was much more than 2, but this way the weather is now, you could get up in the hills there and that you could get 6 or 7 inches in one bang, and then we are back again. So let it out.
They should be letting some of this water out.
Oh,
You
but
know,
they can't.
See that water possibly comes from the other side of Kyneton. That's where it starts, and all that. I don't know, you know, probably know all that area, all that hill country.
Yep.
That's the only place it goes into that dam. So
Yeah, and then you've got it all running down into places like Epilock, Lanakuri, Kankura and everything else like that. And when they get to a certain capacity, some of these places don't have the gates to let the water out. They've just got that concrete wall before it goes over and down the spillway.
that's what happens here.
But if you can build a rower line underground, you've got the people to do that, and you can tell global warming when the Earth's going to vanish. Surely to goodness you would have somebody with that much knowledge to be able to put in a gate that opens and lets a certain amount out and then shuts it again.
Come on, Tina, you know that's too easy for these people in that situation to think of.
I have a front gate that only opens that far to let my dogs in and out. Surely to goodness they could do the same. But no, We would rather spend our money on what? Trains, you name it, netballers. And I'm an old netballer myself, but no way known was I paid to play my favourite. And this is what we got for our work hard. Left with nothing in our old age, and we're too old to start all over.
But it's easy fix. I mean, the dam's
It's
only got
so
to be fixed
easy.
a bit.
You and I could go out there and fix it in 5 minutes.
I mean, I mightn't have a brain, but I think I could fix that dam, and we might get a minor flood, but we wouldn't get a major flood like this. You just things you can do with a dam. And that
Why do
dam-
you think it's not being fixed?
Oh, you
Because
tell
the
me.
because the town's not worth it. And what sort of publicity or pats on the back would anybody in Parliament get if
One
they
lady I
came
was
here
talking
to have?
to in the supermarket the other day, I went in, she was serving, and she just asked me, and I said, yeah, we might be in by March, you know, the pastor's coming. She said, oh, you're lucky, I won't be in till next year. How would you, I couldn't stand, if I had to sit here for another year, I'd just about go, I'm mad now, but I'll go a bit more.
I just want to correct you on something for a second.
Yeah.
You said Rochester's not worth it. This is what these politicians and that think.
Yeah.
I just want to correct you on that because I think you're worth it.
Oh,
I think Rochester's worth it. Any small community that's been affected by anything like this is definitely worth it. And
we know we're
what-
worth it,
what we do and
but
where
we're
we
trying
come
to
from,
convince
Yeah.
the big wigs that small communities are what makes big communities work.
You
If it
got that
wasn't
right.
for our small community here, you wouldn't have the milk, you wouldn't have the wheat, you wouldn't have half the stuff that this small community does. All those farmers out there that get up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, go out, milk their cows, water. They're up till 12 o'clock at night checking their watering and all that, so they don't use too much water. And what do they get for it? Oh, gee, that's tough. Sorry about that. We've got railway lines to fix.
But the
It's
town's
so
been here for a long while,
annoying,
as you probably know.
and it
Have a
makes
look
you
at some
feel
of the old
useless.
buildings that's in the town, you know.
been here for over 100 years.
Yes, and it makes you feel useless when it is such a beautiful little country. Everybody helps one another. When the day of the floods, every house up here and along our side, we're all out talking and saying it'll be right. Yeah, if you want to go, no worries. We'll keep an eye on the house. If somebody leaves now, they tell each other and everybody's watching the house because of the vandals, because of the scams that are going on.